Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. I'm going to teach you one of my favorite trading setups that's going to help you enter like a day trader but hold the position like a swing trader. Market Surge are today's video sponsor. They're my go-to resource for analyzing company fundamentals. If you're interested in a discounted trial, then you'll find a link to that in the description and the comment section below. Okay, let's get into the video. So I'm going to be taking you through a post that I made to my platform on May 1st, 2025. Now, the title of that post is Targeting Momentum Leaders with IMRELLOs. So IMRELLOs is just the acronym for Intraday Mean Reversion Longs. And I'm going to be taking you through several of the examples from this post. Now, we're going to start off with QBTS from the 13th of December, 2024 at 9:50 Eastern Time. Let me just give you a high-level overview. We've got the daily chart on the left-hand side, and we've got the 5-minute chart on the right hand side. So the entry price for QBTS is $3.97 with the initial stop loss lower the day by a cent, which is $3.70. So then you can see how the 5-minute levels here, okay, correlate with the daily chart here showing $3.97 and $3.50. So you can see what happened on an intraday basis. This 5-minute chart is giving us a window into what happened on the daily chart. Then you can see the levels and then how the trade developed thereafter. So we're going to be looking at this from 4 main aspects. Okay, for me, how I think about trading, there's 4 parts to every single trade. Whether you're a scalper, a day trader, a swing trader, or a position trader. Number 1, how do you identify the setup? How do you identify that high quality trading opportunity? Number 2 is how do you control the risk to create an asymmetric risk versus reward trading opportunity? Number 3 is how do you mitigate the risk? How do you free roll the trade? And then number 4 is about optimization of profits, both in terms of size of the gain, but the efficiency of the gain. So what are the selling rules? What are the selling guidelines you are using to optimize profits on the trade? Again, whether you are a scalper, a day trader, a swing trader, or a position trader, you want to be thinking about those 4 main aspects of a trade: identify, control, mitigate, and optimize. So let me start going through, and as I said, I'll put this trading view layout in the comment section somewhere below. So if you're using TradingView, you can just go click on this, you can load up this layout, and then you can start experimenting with yourself, going back, studying stocks. So we're going to specifically be looking at momentum leaders in this post, such as QBTS was currently when I'm filming this video in May, but also Q4 last year as well. Quantum stocks were on an absolute tear. Now, what tends to happen with the momentum leader, and I'm sure many of you would have maybe studied the works of Qualamagi, who kind of coined the term momentum leader. I'm sure that many of you will be aware of momentum leaders, but you may not be aware of how they move, their characteristics. So what tends to happen when these momentum leaders go on a big move? You can see on the chart here, the stock goes from $1.15 up to around about $11 or so, right? But it never really kind of builds that perfect flag, Davis box, cup and handle, VCP, wedge, ascending triangle, symmetrical triangle. They don't tend to move like that. What they tend to do is they tend to go in this kind of stair-stepping motion, but they pull back into their 10-day EMA, bounce, pull back into their 10-day EMA, bounce, pull back to the 10-day, bounce. They don't give you a very long period of time to jump on board. So this is where the IMRELLO I find is really useful to, 1, try and enter like a day trader or a scalper, but then hold as a swing trader. So I'm looking to get that really big asymmetric skew in terms of initial risk to upside reward. So this is where the IMRELLO I think is really, really useful. So let me start taking you through a couple of examples and hopefully it all makes sense to you. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this day here, okay, which is the 13th of December, but specifically we're going to look at it on the 5-minute chart. Now, what's important here, do you see this black horizontal line that's running across? Okay, if you search my name on TradingView, you'll find this. This puts the daily moving average price levels on intraday charts. So this black line that you see here, this is the 10-day EMA price level. You see this around about 384, 383, okay? That's right there. So what do we see? Well, we see price actually undercut the 10-day EMA and then reverse. You see that? It undercuts the 10-day EMA and reverses. And then do you see the 10-day EMA just there? This bar kind of straddles it, right? This is the 10-day EMA, this black line here. And do you see how it shakes out underneath, has a little what I call shakeout demand tail, and then reverses like that? You can see this action playing out on the 5-minute chart here. So it undercuts, reclaims the 10-day EMA, and then this is the key here. Now, I use custom settings on the MACD, okay? So again, if you go and import this specific TradingView layout, you have all of these custom settings, okay? Assuming you're a user of TradingView and all of that, right? So here, shakes out, reclaims. Now, this orange line here is the 5-minute 6 EMA. Really important, okay? This orange line that you see here on the 5-minute chart, 5-minute 6 EMA. So oftentimes when you get the better in Morello entries, you'll have a reclaim of the 5-minute 6 EMA right there in conjunction with a bullish MACD signal. See how the MACD signal goes from bearish, 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 bearish to then positive. Right there is the entry, stop, low of the day. Now the stop loss low of the day, I like it to be less than half the 20-day ADR percentage. But oftentimes, because of how I'm trading with these in Morellos, it can be a third to a quarter versus the 20-day ADR percentage. Really nice tight risk control. Okay, so I'm then looking to get positioned in these momentum leaders, and if the market environment is favorable to then hold for swing trades, that's what I'm looking to do. So this is QUBT on the same day, 13th of December. Now I want to be aware of what are the other stocks from the same group or theme doing. So if I see QBTS is reversing, I'm looking at QUBT. There's a lot of Q's and U's, aren't there? My dyslexia is having a field day with this. So then I'm looking at QUBT, maybe IONQ, RGTR. Are they reversing at the same time? I'm looking for confirmation from other stocks in the group or the theme. So what we see here on the 13th of December at 9:50, same time as QBTS was giving the signal. So we're getting the group-wide confirmation. Again, the market is just dominated by algos. You need to realize that and use it to your advantage. So QUBT here flushes. Okay, pulls down the 21-day EMA is just down here. Okay, you can see that on the daily chart. It's just down there. It's just off this 5-minute chart. Reverses, reclaims the 5-minute 6 EMA, being that orange line. You see that? Reclaims that really strong reclaim bar, and you see how the MACD goes positive. Okay, and then you can see what happened on the daily chart. This stock goes from circa $6 to $29 in the space of 3 sessions thereafter. Really nice. So then in terms of the optimization of profits, could be low of the day, low of the day, low of the day, stopped out here somewhere at $18 or so. Really nice move. Okay, we'll talk about that as we go a little bit more, but hopefully you've watched a blueprint video on the channel, things like that. I've also got an in Morello tutorial video as well. Okay, but you see how QUBT here, it just kind of bounced off the 10. There would have been a really good in Morello there. Trades down, bounces from around the 21-day EMA, off it goes. Let's go on to another one. This is QMCO. This one here is straddling the 10-day EMA. Let me find, this one here is a good one for IONQ to show you the 10-day EMA, okay? So another quantum-related stock. This is on the 29th of November, 2024 at 11:05 Eastern time. So can you see here on the daily chart, okay? The stock's in a nice uptrend here, uptrend, uptrend. You see here, this kind of undercut and reclaim of the 10-day EMA, this leaving this, what I call a shakeout demand tail. Price trades down, shakes out, reclaims, and then you get the same happening here on the 27th of November. So as price flushes, look at this, flush, 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 and then you see this black line that's running across here around about 28.65. Okay, you see that? This black line running across here is the 10-day EMA. So what we see is price trade down, big increase of volume indicating to me there's potentially a lot of interest down there. Then you get the reversal. So the entry is here. Note how the MACD goes positive. Remember, I'm using custom settings, not the standard settings, custom settings on the MACD. That's all covered in the in Morello tutorial video on the channel, and I'll put a link to that in the comment section below for you as well, along with this TradingView layout link where you have the daily and the 5-minute, okay? So then you'll have my indicators on there, assuming that you've got the level tier for the TradingView, okay? So look at this here, 29.42, initial stop loss, low of the day, 28.31. That's then what it looks like on the daily chart. So again, you're entering like a day trader here, but you're trying to hold like a swing trader, assuming you think the market environment is favorable. Let's go with a fan favorite, PLTR. This is from the 28th of Jan, 2025, 9:50 Eastern time. So what do we see here? This is right off the 21-day EMA and 10-day EMA. It's building this little cup and handle type pattern. Something else that I look for is a lot of intraday relative strength. Don't really have the time to go into that in this video, but intraday relative strength at the time of an in Morello entry is so important. So what we see here with PLTR, okay, is it initially pops up, flushes down. Remember this black horizontal line here, this is the 10-day EMA, okay? So the daily price level of the 10-day EMA is plotted here on the 5-minute chart at circa 74.40. Just below that, do you see this blue line running across here, which is just below 73.70? See this blue line? That's the 21-day EMA. And you can see that reflected there on the daily chart. So what happens on the 5-minute chart? Pop, pull down, shake out underneath the 10-day, gets close to the 21-day EMA, reverses, reclaims the 5-minute 6 EMA, that orange line. MACD goes positive. That's the entry, stop, low the day by a cent, and then you can see the move there on the daily chart. Now for me, being a swing trader, the rules that I look to employ is I will often look to use the 10-day EMA or 21-day EMA as a trailing stop if there is a close below that level. So for instance, imagine this earnings gap up ORB, which I had here on a 5-minute ORB, okay, had it here, then I'm looking to ride that 10-day EMA, and then on the first close below the 10-day EMA, my exit is here. First close below the 21-day EMA would be here. I like the 10-day EMA more so than the 21-day EMA if it's a proper TML type stock and or momentum leader. Oftentimes I'll more so favor the 10-day EMA versus the 21, but sometimes I use a combination of them. However, if price gets short-term extended from the 10-day EMA, I may go lower the day, lower the day, lower the day as a trailing stop. So just pushing my stop loss up to the lower the day like that. So up here, for instance, if I thought, wow, price is so extended up here, lower the day, lower the day, lower the day, and then I get taken out around 119. Okay, up here on a breach of the daily low. That's something else I'll look to employ, okay? If we're just in a tactical short-term trading environment, so let's say the market is really choppy, it's really hostile, what I'll look to do is utilize these Immorellos, but rather than hold for swing trades, because it's just pop and drop, pop and drop, pop and drop, right? Stocks go for 1 to 2 days, turn around. They go for 1 to 2 days, turn around. When we're in that type of environment, what I'll do is I'll utilize, okay, intraday moving average selling rules and selling guidelines to help optimize profits. So I'm still thinking about the trade from, okay, identify it, control the risk, mitigate the risk, and then look to optimize profits. What I'll do in that instance where it's really choppy, okay, it's just not conducive to swing trading, position trading, okay, it's just up, down, it's choppy, the direction of the trend for the major indexes is down, I'll either be trading on the short side, but if I want to trade bounces, then what I'll do is I'll look to use these intraday mean reversion longs, and oftentimes I will sell on closes below the 5-minute 6 EMA, which would be this bar. So imagine the entry is right here, okay, trade up, 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 up like this, and then here would be the exit, and also the 5-minute 21 EMA, which is the blue line here. Okay, so the exit would be maybe you hold here, maybe you exit there, but here it's kind of holding, maybe you exit there. Otherwise, you're in it till kind of close the day up here. So actually it's one that kind of encapsulated the daily trend all day. If you give it a little bit of wiggle room around this 5-minute 21 EMA, okay, just try and ride it. Something else I'd be looking at is obviously the degree of intraday relative strength. If we look at Tesla here, okay, November 27th, 2024, 11:05 Eastern time. So can you see Tesla here? Big move on the earnings, big move here, power, power, power like this, and then it pulls back down, and then here shakes out on the daily chart underneath the 10-day EMA. Here is that 10-day EMA. Do you see it? Right there. Going across our 5-minute chart. Let's just call it 333, okay? There it is on the daily chart. Here it is on the 5-minute chart. Okay, see that? So what Tesla does is flush, 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 flush. Look at the huge surge in volume. It's indicating to me, oh, there's a lot of interest down there. There's a lot of interest here underneath the 10-day EMA. It's also just shaken out underneath the last 6-7 days of lows. See that? Probably triggering a lot of stop losses in there as this is trading down. Pulls down, reverses, MACD crosses, so you get the bullish MACD signal, and prices reclaim the 5-minute 6 EMA. Entry is there, stop, low the day by a cent. And then you can see what happened here. So there you've got around about a $5 stop or so, and then the stock goes from 331 to 480. Maybe a little bit more, around about 480 or so. Crikey. $5 stop, and the stock goes from 330, stock makes a $150 move from here, and you've got a $5 initial stop. Now, again, as I was saying, in terms of optimization of profits, this is covered in the blueprint video. A strategy that I'll often use if I'm not going to exit on the first close below the 10-day EMA or the 21-day EMA. So first close below the 10-day would be this session here. First close below the 21-day EMA would be this session here. Oftentimes I prefer the 10-day rather than the 21. It's a little bit more kind of optimal overall, I think, in terms of the efficiency. Okay, the 50-day is often too slow in today's market. So I think 10-day, 21-day, my kind of baseline in terms of, okay, close below those, then I'm looking to exit. However, if price gets extended from the 10-day EMA, say this day here, you're like, price is so extended, or maybe you do it this day here, you're like, oh, it's so extended, even though it's kind of day one of the breakout from this little flag. I had a nice trade in here as well. Coming out here, really nice bar here, and then just powered out, like really nice trade that, okay? But let's say this day here, you're like, this is extended. Extended stocks can become more extended. So in this instance here, low the day, 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 you're then taken out up here around 460. Okay, if it gets extended from the 10-day. Up here as well, extended from the 10-day. Low the day, low the day, low the day, low the day. Taken out up here. Okay, so low the day approach if it's extended from the 10-day EMA. First close below the 10, first close below the 21-day EMA. Okay, so this is how we're then looking to utilize, okay, entering like a day trader, entering like a scalper using this technique here, but then we're looking to hold for a swing trade if the market environment is favorable to swing trading and holding for those bigger moves. See how we're utilizing this. However, we can switch lanes if we want to in terms of our intraday management of the position. If we think that, do you know, it's a really choppy market, it's a really hostile market for swing position trading, absolutely fine. I'll just utilize these on an intraday basis. Okay, I can switch from being an intraday trader to a swing trader. I can do both. Whatever the market environment wants to do, I can do either. It doesn't bother me. So here with SMR, right, it trades down. So see how here, riding its 10-day EMA, a little shakeout around the 21, would have been a really good intraday mean reversion long. Immorello trades out, look at this, shake out underneath the 10, shake out underneath the 10, trades down, shakes out underneath the 10. You see here how it trades down to the 10-day EMA on the daily chart. See that black line there, okay? That black line is here, running across the chart. So then what we have here is we have an entry. I don't know why there's some other levels on here, but here we have an entry around 23.68. Stop below there, that's going to be about 22.63. See how these 5-minute levels correlate with the daily chart right there. So it trades down, look at that. Remember this black line here, horizontal line, that's the 10-day EMA. Trades down, bounce perfectly off of it, starts reclaiming the 5-minute 6 EMA, 5-minute 21 EMA as well in this instance. MACD go positive, there's the entry there. Now remember what I was saying, that if it's just a really choppy market, okay, and I don't want to hold them for a swing trade, I can just utilize the 5-minute 6 EMA. Look at this, 5-minute 6 EMA, ride it, ride it, ride it, ride it, ride it, ride it, ride it. There's your first close below, exit. If I want to keep some back for the 5-minute 21 EMA, there's first close below, exit. Nice and simple, right? Let's go for Oklo. Oklo here, this is actually off the 65-day EMA in here. You can see trades down, recovers. There's your MACD going positive. Let me see if I can find a really kind of clean one for you. Okay, Oklo, 50-day SMA. This is Jan 13th, 2025 at 12:05 Eastern time. So Oklo here, again, we're looking at momentum leaders. ADR of over 10% on this one. Pops up, pulls down. This purple line is the 50-day simple period moving average. So you see this purple line that's running across here on the daily chart? There it is there on my 5-minute chart. Again, I have an indicator for this. Search my name on TradingView. I think it's called daily moving averages on intraday charts or something like that, okay? But again, if you just want to import this layout, it'll be on this layout. So you see this purple line running across here. That there is the 50-day simple period moving average price level from the daily chart, which is right here. You see it? Running across there around 22.40-ish, okay? Up here, you see this blue line? Do you know which one that is? That's the 21-day EMA. It's right there. Do you see it? On the daily chart. So we've got the 21-day EMA, we've got the 50-day. In this instance here, Oklo trades down, undercuts, big shakeout demand tail here, starts reclaiming that 5-minute 6 EMA. MACD goes positive. You also have a positive divergence here with the MACD. What does that mean? Look how the MACD sets a low here, and then it makes a higher low. You see that? The MACD is making a higher low. Okay, here you would have been stopped out on this one. If you're trading it here, flushes down, you get the trade there, low day, you may be stopped out for like 1% stop. Okay, is every Immorello going to work? No, every Immorello is not going to work. That's why you use tight risk control. Okay, but this time here it trades down, price makes a lower low intraday, lower low, whereas the MACD makes a higher low, positive divergence for the MACD. Okay, nice. So here reverses, your entry is there, 21.90, stop low of the day at 21.49. Around about a 40 cent stop or so. And then the stock goes from $22 up to $56, $60 on this chart. And see how it just rides, generally speaking, it's 10-day and 21-day EMA. Here as well. So when you then start seeing these shakeout demand tails around the 10-day, 21-day EMA in here, there's probably a really good Immorello on that day. Baba off of its 200-day, okay, large cap Chinese related stock. Baba, flush, 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 flush. So this is why I then love it when the market flushes. Okay, I have a very well equipped trading toolbox. I can trade these flushes. I can trade gap up opening range breakouts. I can trade what I call trigger bars, shakeout demand tails, gap down reversal bars. That's my stutter, gap down reversal bars. I can trade what I call an in-Moresh, intraday mean reversion short. I can go short and go long and go anywhere with my trading toolbox. So when stocks flush like this, like Baba, flush, 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 flush on the daily chart, this red line on my chart is the 200-day simple period moving average, 200-day. So what do we see Baba does? In the early part of the session, tries to go, maybe trap some people in with a 5-minute RB, flushes down to the 200-day. So you see this red line here. See that red line running across the 5-minute chart? That's the 200-day simple period moving average on the daily chart. There it is right there. 97.27. Entry price, 95.72. Stop, low of the day by a cent. Right here. Can you then see those levels on the daily chart? And then pop, off it goes. Trades down, MACD goes positive, reclaims the 5-minute 6 EMA, shakes out underneath the 200, up it goes. Pretty cool entry, right? Let me go and find maybe one more for you, just to end. Firm here is fairly kind of good, right? Okay, if you look at a firm, it has a positive earnings reaction here. Look at the volume coming through on the earnings, and then kind of builds a flag, VCP something base, Davis box S, right? 1 contraction, 2 contraction, 3 contraction, 4 contraction, goes, shakes out right there off the 50-day. See this purple line here that's just tagged on the daily chart? Take a look here on the intraday chart. See this purple line? What moving average is that from the daily chart? It's the 50-day simple period moving average right there. Trades down, flush, 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 big intraday flush there. Hits it, little shakeout underneath, reclaims, MACD goes positive. There's the entry, reclaiming the 5-minute 6 EMA, MACD positive, stop, low the day by a cent. So your entry is at 43.39, stop, 42.67, and then look what happens. Up, 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 up it goes to circa $70 in the next 3 weeks. This is why, if you can learn the Immorello, okay, you can learn to enter like a scalper, learn to enter like a day trader, but then you can also hold like a swing trader if the market environment is favorable to swing trading. That's another skill to learn. Okay, what type of market environment are we favorable for swing position trading? This is stuff we cover on my platform. Is it favorable? Is it not favorable for swing position trading? Do I want to try and hold for the bigger move? Do I not want to try and hold for the bigger move? If you want to see the rest of this post, it's on my platform. There's a trial available. You can become a member as well if this is the kind of stuff you like. Let's maybe finish off with one more here. This is PDYM. There's DoorDash as well, shaking out. There's loads of opportunities. I review these as well. We do a post-session analysis, most sessions where I'll go over the best trading opportunities from the sessions, Immorellos, ORBs, Immoreshes, trigger bars, shakeout demand tails, gap down reversal bars. But I really hope this setup here is something that you can start to learn about, potentially incorporate in your own trading toolbox as well. For me, I find it extremely useful. So thank you very much for watching that. If you're interested in watching the Immorello tutorial video, I'll put a link to that in the comments. I'll put a link to this specific TradingView layout for you as well if you want to go and have a play around with that on TradingView. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the support on the channel. And as always, I look forward to seeing you in a future video.